What is up, folks? Welcome again to another session of Let's Chat with me, Meor Addelan. Now, today's topic is a very interesting one. Interesting because I wanna be a bit of an advocate. Yeah, it's true that a lot of people out there are actually griping. Sometimes, I'm not saying all, some of them are actually griping about equality and the long old age question that has always been playing on people's mind. Women equality, women want to have the same rights or the same fairness as what men do. And we have gone so far, we have gone so long in our lifetime for us to finally realize that it doesn't matter what gender you are, as long as you can pick up the slack, as long as you can deliver the objective at hand, then it's a free country, it's a free world. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to be a woman, you don't have to be a man to be superior than the other. No, everything should be all on the same level. But to what extent should we rely on when it comes to equality between men and women? And for that, I actually have a very special guest of mine, a very good friend of mine, who is the co-founder of the Women Photographers Malaysia. Ladies and gents, may I introduce to you Miss Annice Lin. How are you, Annice?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming
Yeah,
on the show of Let's Chat. Okay,
yeah,
now let's just
yeah,
dive in right now. It is a
yeah.
very sensitive
Mm-hmm.
subject, isn't it? Whenever we talk about gender equality, especially right
Mm,
now in today's day and age, there's a lot of movement out there, there's a lot of societies out there, there's a lot of
mm-hmm.
organizations out there who has banging the drum
Mm-hmm.
wanting equality. To your opinion, have we not reached that point yet? Is there still a bit of a lopsided thing when it comes to fairness between men and women?
I do think that it is really loud, and I think we are all like females are like the emerging females. We are all coming up. However, I do think that we still need a lot of work to do in certain countries, such as the states. They are really loud about it. But we do think that for Malaysia or any other developing country, there's a lot more work to do. So I would say it's a work in progress at the moment.
You in your field, being a photographer yourself, um, like commonly right now, it has been a domination of men when it comes to
Mhm.
your field as a photographer. Even when I got married about 11 years ago, very, 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 if I may say so, none actually came out to me and offered their services who are women who wanted to be in this field,
Mm.
who wanted to be a professional photographer. But how has that changed from 10 years before until now? Have you seen a lot of changes, more women coming up front and telling the world, hey, I'm a photographer, I'm cool too, I can do that job as well as the other guys out there? What do you think?
I would think that, as time changes, and we're obviously in the 21st century, that education become more accessible, meaning that education as it comes to like photography tips and tricks, or people are like somewhat more open as well. Like when it comes to men, where men are thought to be, from childhood, men are thought to be bold and assertive, whereas women are thought to be more nurturing and apologetic. So as time goes, I guess men's like our alliances, I would say that they are more willing to teach as well. So I think the characters are very important when it comes to play. So being women, we have to really seek out and be proactive and say that what, it's okay, and it doesn't have to take much women to start off a movement. It's like it could be a soul or a two or three to say that we can do this. We can take a seat on the table. We can put our map to raise more female visibility into the visual culture. Yeah.
Yeah, funny that you mentioned that though, because like you said,
Mm,
it is quite cultural when
mm,
it comes to how people portray women and how people portray men.
mm,
Uh, you know, even in the Stone Age time, or you were talking
mhm,
about years and years and years before, man has always been perceived as the leader of the family, the guy
mm,
who does all the hard work, the guy who
mhm.
goes out and earn for a family. Whereas
Yep.
women, normally they become wives and they need to make
Yeah.
sure that the household is in order, taking care of the kids, make sure that the
Mm,
husband get enough food.
mm,
That perception, is it still here to stay, or has that evolved in such a way that we are now able to adapt, uh,
mm.
I mean, in different situations?
I think for a while, like exactly like was what you say, women have to take care of their husband, their child, and it becomes like an empowering thing that take a step back and say that, hey, we can do all this. We are the one woman with so many degrees. We have culinary
Mhm.
degrees, we have medical degrees, we have business degree. like like as a mother, she has multiple degrees, like, so to speak,
Yeah.
like and metaphorically speaking. So I think maybe all this while is there, but it takes like maybe her peers or someone to empower, like, actually I can do this. Like, since I am doing it, I think women's, they are doing it. It's just that we need to give them a little push and acknowledgement that, hey, this
Mm.
is actually what we have been doing this all the time. Why not we take it up a notch to fully acknowledge it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
coming to a generic kind of understanding, there
Mm-hmm.
are still, unfortunately, there are still employers out there, companies out there who would rather hire a man versus hiring a woman.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that? Is it purely because of maybe the type of work, or maybe the fact that they think that women cannot take on stress as much, or maybe just because the fact that if a woman gets pregnant, then she's going to be gone for 6 months, and she's going to be unproductive and whatnot. What do you think about that?
Mm-hmm. So from what my understanding, what you have told me, yes, there are a certain gender inequality out there, as well as women to this day in several countries. I would think that at least from our country, we are really in the capital, especially, we are privileged in some way, but there is like certain areas that women are still gravely underrepresented. But what you just told me is more like the assumption of it. Yes, when it comes to job, we do really need accessibility and, of course, opportunity and understanding. But it's more to us, is like, you know what, like, let's say an employer is hiring, then he has his qualms, he has his concern, like, what if you get pregnant, how is it? That, I would say that as women, that is up to us to settle. Whatever at the back door, we will settle it. So we would like you to focus on our capability.
Mhm.
It's like, whatever it is, we will work. It's like, you want us to walk one step faster, we will try at least two steps faster. But whatever setbacks is behind us, we can settle. We don't have to tell you like our concerns and stuff. You just worry. You just, hopefully, that employer will just worry about or focus on what we can deliver, instead of, are you sure, are you really sure? But that is up to us. That is our concern. Yeah,
Mhm.
to
Yeah,
we will
I
we will
guess.
manage from our end.
No,
Mm.
I guess coming from a point where we men as well, we have
Mm.
that sympathetic values towards women, because
Mm.
we again, I mean, like, being brought
Mm.
up in certain cultures, we always think that no,
Mhm.
women, they can't really go out that much, because they might strain themselves,
Mm.
they might get stressful,
Yeah.
with PMSs happening around. Not that I have
Yeah.
any experiences with that, but we have leaders all
Yeah.
over the world who are actually women. The Prime
Yeah.
Minister of New Zealand,
Yeah.
and then furthermore, the Scandinavian countries, you got leaders who are actually women, who shows that the gender doesn't matter. Anyone can actually pick
Mm.
up the job as long as you're qualified. Now, but
Yeah.
I want to be.
True.
I just want to ask you on the flip side. So, what do you think about these women? Some women who are out there who are fighting for gender equality, cursing men, that men
Mm.
is not good enough. They should give opportunities for women. But then again, they don't want to do the workload. They always expect men to open up the doors and everything. They expect men to
Mm.
always and always cater to what women's needs are. It's a bit hypocritical, isn't it?
Yeah. I do think that there are, I wouldn't say there are two sides of the women, but as a woman, if you want opportunity, if you want equality, you do the work and let the work show. So,
Mhm.
they always say that action speaks louder than word, right? So
Yeah.
instead of using the time to bash and to complain, try to transpose the time you use for complaints to actually do the work. And when the work shows, nothing more, nothing less. It's just there. So yeah.
Yeah, again, it all comes down to the ability of
Yeah.
oneself, regardless whether you're a man or a woman. If you can do
Mm.
it, then you can do it, and
Yeah.
not just talk about it, but deliver it.
Hmm.
Commit to it,
Yes.
and do it in such a way that you yourself will be proud about. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah, I champion in what you say, the deliverables.
Mhm.
That's the solid proof right there. Like, regardless. So really, I think pick your own battles as well. if it's really that individual is just all about complaints, then good luck to you. But we all know that we could utilize the time of complaining to actually use that time to find opportunity and for and seek for better possibility as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I pray every day that, at least we
Mm.
Malaysians, rather than complaining 24/7, 365, at least we do something about it, and
Yeah.
not just bash about the other people, right? People like
Yeah.
to compare, and that's what
Mm.
humans like to do. Unfortunately, we always like to compare, and we don't compare the good stuff. We always compare the bad stuff and everything. You don't see the goodness and stuff. You always
Yeah.
point out the bad things. That's
Yeah.
just sad, isn't it?
Yeah, there is a saying that someone told me before, like, as Malaysians or even as an individual, we always think that, oh, the grass on the other end is always greener. The grass
Yeah,
on your neighbor yards is always greener. It can be green on your end too if you really take the time to nourish instead of like,
yeah,
oh, looking like, why is it better? But
yeah.
just self-evaluate, see that, okay, my yard can be flourished well as well if I take
Yeah.
the time to water and nurture it.
Yeah, just go get fertilizers, then your grass will definitely be greener after that, right?
Yeah, yeah, going to get the fertilizers, metaphorically speaking, you need to do the work. You need to get yourself out there,
Right.
do the work. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, well said, well said. Awesome
Yeah.
stuff. Now, coming back to you yourself, you are the co-founder of Women Photographers Malaysia. Now, tell us what's that about.
Yes. It was basically formed out of desire to create a community that empowers women's photographer, where ideas can be nurtured and support can be given to and it's like providing a representation for them to pursue their passion as well. So it was purely formed during MCO, during probably a ranting session as well with one of my co-founders, and we are like, you know what? I realized that
Mm.
over the years, there's not a community such as this. Well, why not we start this and see where did it go? Yeah. So
All right.
it was just little resources. We are trying to break barriers here. So I
Mhm.
don't think that with the start of WPM, for short, Women's Photographer Malaysia, it was never an I thing. So we try to make it like a we thing or an ours, some sort.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
who said you can't be productive during MCO, right? You can
It's
always
the
find
best
stuff to
time.
do, and this is definitely something
Mm.
that a lot of people out there need to know more, because this
Mm.
not just generate interest and also
Mm.
bring up the society, specifically to
Mm.
women, that you guys do exist and you guys do want to get yourselves heard and be
Yeah.
noticed, not for the bad things, but of course the betterment of the society,
Mm.
doesn't it?
Yeah, I think we just want to plant seed and to be more visible in the landscape of the photographic community. That's more of it. Like we
Yeah.
wanted, and with that being said, we wanted to develop a more inclusive culture to increase gender equality. I think, and
Mhm.
help to strive for the balance to ensure better support and empower women's photographer.
Sweet. We're almost running out of time, but I do want to get another opinion from you.
Mhm.
How do you encourage young girls out there to be more inspiring, to get more involved out there? Not just maybe with your group, but also just portraying themselves to be better girls, turning into women for the nation, for the world, even.
Mm. I would say that as simple as it sounds, start from your ABCs. ABCs are pretty simple. Everyone have their foundation. Get your foundation right, which is ABCs: attitude, behavior, and character.
All right, you guys
Mm.
even have an acronym for that. Nice. Attitude,
Yeah,
behavior, and character.
and
It is something
character.
definitely
Yeah,
anyone out there can actually hold that dear and,
mm,
and try to better themselves
yeah.
moving forward for sure. Annice Lin, thank you so much for
You're most
for for
welcome.
for coming on to the show of Let's Chat. Really appreciate what
Mhm.
we have discussed, and I will definitely give more chances for my wife for her to hold the baton moving forward for sure. Okay.
You do that. You do that.
All right. Hey, thanks a lot, Annice. Okay, you take care.
Okay. Bye.
All right, bye. Well, folks, that's it. That was Annice talking to us about women empowerment, and not just about women empowerment, but also about equality and also being fairness, and not on the cocky side, but everyone is a human being. Everyone wants to get the same chance. Why don't we do it together, folks? That's all for now for Let's Chat. For Let's Chat this episode. Hope to see you guys soon on our next one. Guys, take care.